What's going on, y'all? So we are in Nara right now, and it is definitely different if you can tell. There's so much more green back here. I would say it's a whole complete vibe than where I was just at in Tokyo and Kyoto. It's closer to Kyoto, but like definitely more nature-esque out here. If you guys have ever seen the videos of the deers bowing and also the guys hammering the mochi, this is usually where it's made. But unfortunately today it's closed. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do because that was going to be our first stop. It's already 2 p.m. so I'm not going to be here for too long, and I have to go to Osaka right after this. Right now I need a cup of coffee because even though I already had one today, I feel like I just need multiple when I'm out here in Japan just because of all the walking. Then I'm trying to figure out if I'd rather eat now or look. Wait one sec. I don't even know if it's gonna zoom that far. People feeding deer over there. I low-key heard the deer are a little bit scary, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee, then I'm just gonna wander a little bit and figure out exactly what I'm doing. Also, I wanna go over what I've noticed, I guess, with Japan so far and what my thoughts are so far.
Godfather with a guard full of snakes. Carport trying to give away a raise. Brick ball trying to turn them into base. Big boy, I've been trying by the phrase.
Konnichiwa. Can I do a iced matcha latte?
Iced matcha.
Hey.
Cause a nigga really got it. Fat boy, rich nigga with an appetite. Count money all night under the candlelight. Spinning vinyl teddy beers in line.
We got a little matcha here from a place called Drink, and I'm not usually a matcha person, but since we're in Japan, I've said it before, I don't know what the hate is on it because they're 2 for 2. I also decided to do this because this is my second cup of coffee. I realized I had one in the morning before my run, and I also had one again like 2 hours ago. If I need one later, then I'll save it for later, but I think 2 in 2 hours is a bit crazy. So there's like male deers, and they look 10 times more intimidating. I think this one got its horns taken off. Like that's a male, but it has no horns. And then there's a ton over there. Initial reactions of Japan. If I could describe Japan in one word, it's convenient. Like everything is just convenient. For example, like the subway system. It's once you get it down, it looks complicated, but it literally can take you anywhere in the country. It is the most convenient thing ever, and you don't really ever need a car out here unless you want one. Something else is you're able to ship your luggage from one hotel to another hotel, and it makes it 10 times easier because today I moved out of my Kyoto hotel and I'm going to Osaka tonight, but I wanted to explore within a day. So I shipped my larger luggage and then I put my smaller ones when I got here in the lockers at the train station. These little things, one, help tourists, but two, also help the local people. I saw a guy getting off of work and he put his stuff in there, changed, and then went about his day. The other factor of it is if this was in the US as a service, I bet you it would be stupid expensive. A normal train ride probably takes like 230 yen is something I've seen more often, and that's $2. I bet you if that was in San Diego, they charge $10 for a train ride. Convenience is number one that I've noticed. And that goes for anything too. That goes for like the food and restaurants out here. You can get food, like good food, out in anywhere in the middle of an alleyway, and you have no idea where you're going. You can find a good ramen spot or a katsu spot or like whatever you want, honestly. Not to mention 7-Elevens are 10 times better out here. You can get onigiri, you can get ramen, you can get chicken skewers, sandwiches. Although it's nice that everything's convenient, it is busy out here, and I know it's a very tourist heavy, especially right now, country. When you go to places like Tokyo and Kyoto, it's so packed. And I mean, the craziness is that it's busy, but it works. With the Shibuya Scramble, even though there's thousands of people there, they wait and they wait until the light turns green and then they go at once. And that's why you see that big crowd of like people sitting there, and then they just mosh pit in, and then you see them cross, and then literally it empties out. If that was in New York, I bet you people would be running across the street, someone would get hit by a car, like it's crazy. Two things I've noticed about Nara so far. One, temples are cool out here, but after you see a couple and you gotta pay to get in, I don't need to see anymore. Two, it kind of smells like deer poop every single place. I know when I was walking like in the woods areas, you could definitely see a lot of poop out there. So if you come to Nara, be careful because I didn't realize that, and then now I'm like extra cautious. Watch your feet when you're out here. And then three, I'm realizing that it's not that big out here. Like the subway is probably 10 minutes that way, and that was the temple. Nara Park's over here, which is a 2-minute walk. It says Kodaiji Temple, which is another spot they said to check out, is like right above it. So compared to a lot of Japan I've seen, it's actually smaller. I'm assuming there's like other stuff around, but as far as like the touristy stuff, you can pretty much get it done in like, I would say like half a day. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm still not used to it, but the deer are low-key scary. Like, look at this. What's up, homie? What stops him from hopping on over the fence and attacking me? All right, so these are where you get the crackers to feed the deer. There. So these are the crackers you use to feed them. I'm gonna try not to get rid of them all at once, but let's see what we can do. Bro, these deer low-key be aggressive. Once one finds out you have them, they all come at you. Like, look at these. That's why I ran out the clip, because I had like 4 or 5 different. Here, why her? I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still? Do you? Do you not think so far ahead? Alright, that's enough deer for me. It's pretty fun. They're a little bit aggressive, especially when they find out you have some crackers on you. They start following you. Now I'm starving. I haven't eaten. I had a little sandwich this morning, so I'm gonna try to find somewhere to eat. And then I want to check out the giant Buddha and probably call it a day, because I feel like there's not really much that I really need to see here, but it was cool to check it out. So let's go get some food. Well, that's unfortunate. The tuna place I wanted to go to is closed until 5. I forget that in Japan, between like 3 to 5, some places close down. I know Spain does something similar. So just keep an eye on the clock, because I didn't, and it's 4:30 right now. I'm just gonna kill a little bit of time because I don't really wanna do too much in between, and I do wanna try this food. The next option I think was udon, which is the closest spot, and I just had ramen last night, so I'm trying to get a little bit more like clean protein in. In Japan, I've had a lot of fat as far as like steak and fried foods, and you know, just I'm sure what they cook in is oil too, so I'm gonna try to wait out this for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and just check out what's in this area. While I wait, a couple more things I've noticed is I'll find somewhere to put this down real quick. Something I definitely noticed is that it's super safe here. Like, me and my boy Darwin were going to dinner one night, and it was like under a tunnel we walked by, and we just heard kind of like a bike, almost a little creepy, but it was just like this little girl kind of singing a song with her headphones in, just driving, and it was like 9:30 at night. If you're solo traveling and you're a female, I highly suggest that you put Japan as one of those top spots, because I've been to Bali and I thought Bali was safe, but I think as far as infrastructure goes and just the environment out here, everyone's so polite and everyone's so kind that you're not gonna have any trouble being alone out here. I just saw on Instagram that Tokyo was voted the #1 safest city in the world, and then Osaka was number 3. It's dope out here. Like, it has broken every expectation I have as far as like the people out here, the environment. The big thing I noticed is they don't have trash cans out on the road, and then in New York City, I've walked by trash cans where it's overflowing. So out here, if you need to go throw away like a water bottle or trash, you have to go into 7-Eleven or Lawson's or some convenience store. Or you're almost forced to have to go somewhere else to throw it out, or else you're kind of that bystander. And it's so adopted now that if you do it, you're gonna probably get called out, or people are gonna look at you weird. Enough rambling. I think this clip is gonna get a bit too long now, and let me do a quick little fit check. By the way, we have this bag from Uniqlo that I picked up, and honestly one of my favorite tote bags right now. We have a t-shirt from Fashion Nova, which I actually cropped out here. We have the Inaka Power shorts and the Air Force Ones, which have poop on the bottom. So that's a fit for today. It's 4:30. Guys, look at this. Can you see it? That's the step count up top, but we're already at 18,000 steps, and it's only 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m.
I told you that I need affection, so let me point you in the right direction. It's so important that you get the message.
That was fire. I didn't record in there because I was about to start. I couldn't get the right angle, and I didn't have anything to prop up the camera with. And then they sat, this family of 4 next to me, like literally a foot away. So I was like, I'm not doing it. It was so good, and it was so fresh too. It was actually a place that popped up on TikTok that came up for me as far as like places you have to eat in Nara. I will say that here's another thing I've definitely noticed is portion sizes are pretty small out here, and that's just natural. I know that with how they eat out here, they try not to go super full. So like I'm used to like a big meal to fill me up. So for them, it's like you want to eat till like you're 80% full. So I get it. It's not the worst thing, but when I'm trying to get my protein in, especially since we're trying to bulk up a little bit, it's a bit tough. So I had to order 2 orders, which isn't even that expensive, but it is what it is. Going back to convenience, this is another thing that's super convenient. They're all around the city, and literally you grab one of these, it'll charge your phone. It has a USB-C, USB, and iPhone charger on there, and then you can return it back to any other point. And on the app that I just showed you, there's literally places everywhere. Like even when I was in Kyoto, there was a place at the 7-Eleven. It's at most convenience stores and malls, but literally they're located everywhere. So if your phone's ever short on battery, this, if you don't have a portable charger.
Yeah, I heard Poppy outside, and he got the double R, drop it outside. Check the weather and it's getting real, I'll be outside. I'ma try this shit and have these pussies dropping like some motherfucking type of nigga that can look me in the eyes. I despise when I see you, better put that fucking pride to the side. Many times.
Change of plans. It actually started to rain outside, and then also I looked up the place and it said that it was closed. I could probably have gotten around it, but to see the stuff inside, which is I guess the main attraction was like this like big Buddha, it was probably gonna be closed. After like Kyoto the last 2 days, I feel like I'm pretty tapped out on the whole temples and sightseeing stuff. So I'm pretty excited for Osaka. 2 things I wanted to try out here, and there's desserts. One was a melon type of bread, which I couldn't find anything open out here. But then I remembered of this thing, which I'm not exactly what it is. Kind of like this drizzle. It's a Mont Blanc, but I think that's just the name of what the dessert is. And then we also got a pumpkin tart. And I will say the thing about Japanese desserts I've noticed is like they don't weigh me down as much as American dessert. The pancakes we had like 2 or 3 different videos ago, they were just so airy. This like the sizes of it are small enough where I'm not that worried about it. I don't know, maybe that's my way of validating it. Right now we're gonna finish this off, and then we're gonna hop on the train and go to Osaka and just kind of end off the night. This will probably be the end of this vlog. The next vlog you'll see is gonna be in the Osaka vlogs. But I did write down a couple last things I've noticed with Japan, and we'll just run through them real quick. One is fashion. Fashion is huge out here, and I feel like there's a big competition I'm starting to see between Japan, New York, and then the UK, because those are three inspirations I get for my fashion content nowadays. And Japan is up there. Like, I thought I had style or fashion a little bit at least, and then you come out here and people are like, they're dressed in all these different types and varieties. It's so fly. The food scene. I mean, you've already seen enough of it, but the food scene, seafood's always fresh. The meat is always just so perfectly cooked. And then like this stuff, like you're not gonna find anything at this quality at this price. Like this whole thing was 800 yen, and that's under $7. You can find a variety out here. Like you're gonna find things that could be super expensive, like the omakase dinner we had. That was like 170, and it was amazing. Then you have stuff that are like $7 to $20, and it's like still amazing. They put so much effort into the foods, and you'll see like lines of chefs at some restaurants for a like normal lunch, not a fancy lunch. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, and this is kind of that double-edged sword I've noticed, is it's super structured and people like follow the rules very well, but you could see it in both lights. For example, when you go up an escalator in Tokyo, you stand on the left side, so you let people pass on the right, and then in Kyoto, I think it's the opposite. You stand on the right and you let people pass on the left. People also, when you're at a crosswalk, they'll wait for it. Even if it's a tiny crosswalk, they're gonna wait. Train stations, they're not super loud, and you're not supposed to talk on the phone, and most people respect that. And then you see like all these guys who work like corporate jobs coming off of work at 9 p.m. and they're very structured, and I can see how doing that every single day will get repetitive, because for me, I can't do that. And that's the whole point why I left the whole nursing world, because I hated that structure behind it. So I've noticed like structure is a big thing, and I think that you could have that balance. I think America needs to learn more about it, and people need to follow the rules more. When I say that, it's like what I've noticed, but there are people who stand out and like everything like that. So I could see myself living here, and I think that if you're an outsider living here, and you have your own personality, you have your own traits, and you have your own, like, you live by your own means, you could thrive out here, which is what appeals to me a lot about Japan. And yeah, if you guys have been enjoying the Japan content, you guys have been liking the videos, please consider subscribing and commenting something down below. I know that with this, like I told you guys, literally yesterday I finished the Kyoto one. I do these out of love, because like this is my third day filming a vlog, and like it's like a full vlog, it's not just a part of it. So I'm actually enjoying the process, and like especially with the travel. So that's gonna be a huge goal of mine, is travel more, vlog more, and then also just pump out content. Let me do a quick little taste test to end off the night here for you. Like, yeah, also it's like frosting, but it's like a paste kind of. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Yeah, that's really good. I would give that a 8.6 out of 10. Yeah, pumpkin tart with a little whipped cream on it. Guys, it's so much easier to record when you're kind of in like a low-key spot. Like when people are staring at you, it's so hard, and you guys are tucked away in like the corner. So, but.
Spoiler alert, this nigga dies.
Keep blinkies, and the weed sticky. My finger itchy, Glock like to leave hickeys. Your shooter's iffy, a street punk.